and welcome to the Pacing Tip of the Month. I'm Ingeborg Midsendahl. Today I'd like to talk about energy conservation. This is an important part of pacing. The point of energy conservation is to spend less energy on activities so that you have more energy left over for other things. I'm going to give some concrete tips later on, but to start with I'd like to talk about some of the general principles of energy conservation. Firstly, slowing down saves energy, doing things in a more relaxed way. Also, reducing distraction is important. You can close windows and doors to block out noise, work at an empty table except for the things you need for the task you're doing, remove smelly flowers, turn off appliances you don't need, such as the TV in the background. You can turn off notifications on your computer so you can work more peacefully, and so on. This can improve concentration and does save a lot of energy. Furthermore, finding a comfortable position is important. You can sit down instead of standing up, or lie down instead of sitting. Also, working at waist height saves a lot of energy compared with having to lift your arms or bend forward. Placing things within easy reach is another way of saving energy, as is improving your technique instead of using raw force. Finally, there are energy-saving tools and appliances you can use. This could be as simple as getting a pen with a ball that rolls easily, or it could be something more specialised like a shower stool. All in all, if you use many of these tips in different situations, there's much to be gained. For instance, you could sit down while brushing your teeth, support your arm on the sink, perhaps try an electric toothbrush, but not everyone can cope with the vibrations. You could mount a pull-out shaving mirror in sitting height so that you can shave or put on makeup sitting down. There are many ways to make the most of your energy reserves. When it comes to the appliances, shower stools and bath boards, which are seats that go across the bathtub, are very useful for reducing the energy expenditure of showering. You can even get a terry bathrobe and put it on immediately afterwards, and lie down and rest instead of spending all your energy drying yourself. In the kitchen, you may find it useful to get a standing support chair, which is a tall office chair, or a perching stool. Standing support chairs have the advantage of having wheels, so you can move around the kitchen without having to get up, and you can put on the brake and sit still whenever you want to. Some people, however, prefer perching stools which stand still. I tend to find that they get in the way and that they're always standing in the wrong place. But they're still useful if you just want to sit still while you chop vegetables, for instance. Some appliances may save energy in some situations but not in others. For instance, a food processor saves a lot of energy if you need to cut a lot of vegetables, but if you only need to chop one carrot, getting a knife and a chopping board is a lot easier. Finally, one of the most loved and most hated of all energy-saving appliances is the wheelchair, and electric scooters as well. If you find that limited walking distance stops you from doing things you would otherwise be able to do, a wheelchair can be a godsend. I grew up with ME, and I can assure you that without my wheelchair I would have missed out on a lot of experiences. However, wheelchairs don't remove the illness, they don't compensate fully. You still have to cope with sensory input and bumping around in the chair and so on. Furthermore, wheelchairs save energy because you don't walk. But if you spend that energy self-propelling the wheelchair, you may well get more exhausted and wear out your arms completely. So it's a good idea to get somebody to push you, or to try an electric scooter or wheelchair of some type. There are shops which lend them or rent them out, and in some countries you can get things like shower stools and wheelchairs on loan from the National Health Service. In other countries you may be able to borrow them from charities, or sadly some places you will have to buy them yourselves. It does take a lot of courage to get and use a wheelchair, but the benefits of being able to participate usually outweigh the drawbacks of being stared at. If you tell all your friends in advance that you've acquired a wheelchair, you don't have to worry about what to say when you meet them. Furthermore, planning in advance what you want to say if you bump into people you haven't seen for ages is also a good idea. Shower stools and similar small items tend to be inexpensive, and particularly so if you buy them second-hand. Wheelchairs, and especially the electric ones, may be terribly expensive, but there are also more affordable models available, and you can save loads of money by buying them second-hand. You may though need to buy a new battery for an electric chair to get the most out of it. Now, in this short video there are lots of tips I can't mention, but in my book Classic Pacing for a Better Life with Emmy, I have an entire chapter with energy saving tips for all ability levels, and lots of different topics, anything from shopping to reading, writing and communication. You may also want to have a look at my friend Zoe's website, metips.co.uk. metips.co.uk. Lots of ideas there. Finding energy saving ways of doing things can be quite a creative process, so do have fun thinking up ways to make the most of your energy. And when you get really good ideas, share them with the rest of us so that everyone can benefit. So, thank you for listening, and I'll be back next month.